What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for today, and you guys see on the screen again, we have another massive day in the VIP. We cash an 8.5x with League of Legends, and what do you know, guys? Who did it again? Kevin De Bruyne and Jeremy Doku. These guys are absolutely printing money for us. And what's funny, well, we've actually cashed 3 entries with them the past 3 games that they've played in the World Cup, right? And what's funny is that they get taken out of the game at like the 62nd minute or something, which is the earliest they've ever gotten taken out of the game. But the game actually goes into extra time, okay? So with a game going to extra time, you may think, the overs are going to hit because these guys obviously play, an extra 30 minutes or whatever it is. But they get taken out of the game at the 62nd minute, which is a huge reason why we take these guys under, because they don't even play the whole game. They actually only played 2/3 of the game. If you think about it, with extra time, they only played half of the game, and we're able to take their line under. And we've been doing this every single time. But what's funny is, after these guys get pulled out of the game, I don't even have a bet on the game, so I don't even care who wins or loses. But I was rooting for Belgium so hard for the simple fact that I just wanted to take these guys again. Like, I wanted these guys to win so I could take them next game they play. And I believe the next game they play is versus the US, so I am going to go for the US. But Kevin De Bruyne and Doku, I want to just continuously take these guys under every single week or every single game they play. These guys have printed for us, guys. I'll never forget how important Doku and De Bruyne have been for us. I mean, it's just been crazy. I believe two plays of them, the last 2 plays, were free picks that I sent out on this channel. I think I'll show you guys this somewhere, like right here, guys. Right, we took De Bruyne, Doku under, and then over here we took De Bruyne, Doku under, and we did cash this here. Guys, we've been crushing the World Cup on the VIP, crushing the World Cup on these free picks. Yesterday's free pick was Junior right here. He goes ahead and goes way over his line here, and another hitter fantasy score that goes ahead and cashes for us. We have a setup with Pulisic, we have a setup with Kane, 2 misses here. So again, we go up 7.5 units from this play alone, and then we have like 2 or 3 misses. I think there was a miss on Underdog, which I might not have screenshotted. And again, I'm just generally trying to go over everything every day in these screenshots. But when I show you guys these graphs, everything is tracked, right? So we're up 152 units on the year, which is amazing. I'll get into that. But we had, like 2 or 3 misses, something like that. So again, if you have 2 or 3 misses, that means you go down 2 or 3 units. And then we have a 7.5x that goes ahead and hit, or 8.5x that gives us 7.5 units, which means we went up about 4-ish, 5-ish units, which is amazing, right? Great day. Very, very solid day. I'm always going to be happy when we go up 4 to 5 units, and you should too. Okay, so we have a setup here also. This one, of course, was very close. And then even the past 2 videos, or I guess like past 3 videos, right? Here they are, right? We had this one yesterday, so we're set up with Messi, which is by far and away my favorite pick still, okay? Take Messi all day at under 58.5 passes. This is such a great play. I went over this yesterday. But if we look over the past couple of videos here, guys, we've gotten very close to some of these entries, right? So this one I went over yesterday. This guy misses by a couple of points here, or passes here, and this game easily could have won to overtime where he would have cashed. So it is what it is. And then JP Crawford didn't get it done for us a couple days ago. But again, I took the England guys under, and these guys soared under, right? I've talked about a couple of people in this tournament. Jude Bellingham is one of them. Really, England unders I've liked, okay? Kevin De Bruyne Doku is one of them. Lionel Messi is another one where I take consistently these guys under pass attempts, and they have hit pretty much every time, all right? Now, the last thing I want to go over is this pick, which ends up missing for us. And this is an interesting one, and I love going over misses, right? Because anyone can go over hits and be like, oh, look at me, we hit an entry. But guys, I love going over misses just because it kind of shows like an element to sports betting of like, guys, misses are part of the game. This is a great miss right here if we focus on these 2 guys, because how it was working is United States was on pace to hit the overs, right? Pretty much a minute would go by, both these guys would get a pass attempt, another minute pass attempt. What ends up happening, if you guys watched the game or saw the box score, is US gets a red card pretty much at the beginning of the second half. And that obviously throws the United States still won the game 2-0, but then they play a man down, which means if you play a man down, it's going to be way harder to get possession. So if you look at this, I'm sure there's a graph out there, but USA dominated possession, then they get the red card, and then Bosnia started dominating possession, which is completely normal, right? If you play a man down and only have 10 people on the field, you're not going to have as much possession as the team that has 11 people on the field. So that's why these guys went under. Completely fine, guys. Again, in our theory here, what we do on this channel is with correlation. So we want to take guys over together or under together, right? When guys have a lot of possession, they're going to go over together. When guys don't have as much possession, like United States doesn't have as much possession, these guys are going to go under together. And look how correlated they are, guys. They are right on line with each other, right? If US would have had 80% possession or something crazy, then both of these guys would have went way over. This guy probably would have had 100. This guy probably would have had 80, right? If they only had 30% possession, then they probably would have been like right here, right? Because they both don't have that much possession. So it's correlated. This is what we do in football, in esports, in soccer, guys. And this is why we're up 1,000 units over the past couple of years. And this goes to my point where it's like, guys, watch these videos. I talk about very similar stuff every day. I tell you guys we're going to reach new all-time highs, through the World Cup and stuff. And again, we're at new all-time highs again, which just means we're at the highest point we have ever been at in the past 2.5 years. So at the end of the day, that's something to celebrate. I mean, if there's anything to celebrate, the highest point ever that we've ever been, at in the history of this channel, great. I'm happy about it. But really what I'm looking for, guys, is you to join the VIP because of a moment that happens, right? I love getting new people to this channel because I've talked to people in real life about this strategy, the correlated strategy, and I actually see a light bulb happen in their mind. I actually see a switch flip on in their mind where they go, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. So like, again, if you're listening to what I'm saying and being like, guys, we're taking guys under. If they don't have much possession, they're going to go under. I'm taking guys over. If they have a lot of possession, they're going to go over. If there's a light bulb in your mind, that is what I'm looking for in the VIP. You're the type of person that I'm looking for to join the VIP and to make money over a long period of time, all right? If that light bulb has not gone off, you can always text me and stuff. I can explain my strategy, but so many people bet in the typical way, right? They take rebounds, they take guys to go over shots, and they're just pairing random stuff together, right? And that is the way that PrizePicks wants you to bet. And what's important about that, guys, is you never want to bet in a way of what the sportsbooks want you to do, right? And as friendly as PrizePicks seems, and they're like, hey, here's a free pick, here's a Flex Friday, here's a Taco Tuesday, we're so fun and cool. They want, at the end of the day, more than anything, to make money off you, to take your money, to put money from your pocket into their pocket. And the main goal of this channel is to reverse that, to take money from PrizePicks or some of these sports betting apps and put money into your pocket every month. That is the main goal, if I can boil down anything. Our main driver of that is with correlation. And again, PrizePicks is not like correlation. They don't want you to bet on correlation because they know that it can profit long term, okay? So again, if you can resist the urge to bet how PrizePicks and how everyone else bets, that is like the key right there, okay? Because at the end of the day, if you start doing what PrizePicks wants you to do, then that's how you get lulled into sleep, and that's how you get lulled into pretty much PrizePicks making a lot of profit off of you because they want to make money off you at the end of the day, as harsh as it seems, right? That's business, all right? So let's get into the first pick of the day. Hopefully that guy, something there clicked. Again, the main thing we do is with correlation, and I love seeing that light bulb moment, whether it's, I even see it over text, man. I'll get texts from you guys. You guys are like, man, everything you're saying makes so much sense to me. It's so clear. I started betting like a couple test entries and like, things are hitting or things are like barely missing. And I'm seeing the patterns, I'm seeing the light here where it's like what you're saying is true, right? And again, I urge you guys to, what you can do is you can just deposit like $20 into PrizePicks and just start doing what I'm doing with some test entries, right? Put $1 on every entry, right? At the end of the day, if nothing hits, it is what it is, but you guys will understand that what I do makes sense long term. Another thing you can do is you can actually take entries and then refund them, and you can actually still track them on PrizePicks and be like, okay, I took the US guys under and they actually hit under together. So maybe there is something here. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that, right? So let's get to the first pick of the day, guys. Sorry for all the talking, but it's important to kind of set the stage here. We're going to take Miller to go over. This is a discount, guys. I was talking about better and sleeper as if I talk about PrizePicks as like home runs and us getting these 4-man, 3-man entries. Better and sleeper, you can make $300 to $400 a month with like no thinking involved at all. All you have to do every day is take these little discounts right here. These guys are absolute money. I started doing this maybe like 3 months ago. I've made $300, $400 every single month between these two apps. And I realized, because I've known this for like a year now, but I realized I'm like, guys, who doesn't want an extra $300 to $400 a month, right? If I get 500 of you guys watching these videos every day, 500 of you guys making $300, $400 a month, again, my main goal of this channel is to put money into you guys' pocket. So if I'm able to make 500 people $300 a month over the course of a year, how much money am I making you guys every single month, right? And again, it's not complicated. It's the same thing I talked about with with PrizePicks, where you guys can just take test entries, put $20, $50 into better and sleeper, guys, and you'll get matched on that money. So if you put 50 into better, you'll get $100 into your better account. and just take the entries every day, like I said, and just see what happens. You'll make money over the long term is pretty much what will happen. But again, use my code. You can use my code detective for better. You can use my code PAID. So that's going to be PAID for sleeper. I'll try to find it right here. I always can't find this one for some reason, but you guys can use my code right here, which is PAID. Text me, by the way, if you guys do want to sign up for these apps, just so I can make sure you get the right code, make sure you get the right link. But text me sleeper, better, underdog fantasy, ONYX odds, Kalshi, all these different apps I have, and you guys can get 1 to 2 months free of the VIP. Second pick here is going to be Tuzi to go under 29.5 kills is in Valorant. So hopefully you guys can get this in. Again, a very simple discount base hit type play that we're just going to be taking every single day. All right. So let's get into the pick here. And we do have another hitter fantasy score, which we've been doing very well on. And it's a very simple reason why I'm taking this guy over 6. I'm sure you guys know why. And it's very simple, right? He's been on a hot streak. He's been doing very well. Let me actually go to last 10 here, but you'll see doing very well. He's also on the Rays, which have also been doing very well. And they have been scoring quite a lot of points every single game they've been playing. And again, he has also been doing very well. Jonathan Randa. But the main reason why I like this line, guys, very simply, is if I go back to last 15, I have another graph I want to show you guys, is if you see right here, hits, runs, RBIs, his line right now on PrizePicks is a green goblin for him to go over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, okay? And if I go in between here, I'm going to do a little bit of like a flicker, right? So hits, runs, RBIs, hitter, fan score. Hits, runs, RBIs, hitter, fan score. You're seeing here that they are the exact same hit rate. So every time he goes over hits, runs, RBIs and gets 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, runs, RBIs, he is also going over his hitter fantasy score. Now, what's important here to understand is that his hits, runs, RBIs is a green goblin. So you don't want to take his hits, runs, RBIs because you're getting a green goblin payout. And if you don't know what that means, you can look it up, but it's pretty much you'll get less of a payout for a green goblin. But we can pretty much get a full payout for hitter fantasy score over. So we are getting a green goblin line at non-green goblin pricing, if that makes sense, right? So this line at 6 is pretty much a green goblin because his line is a green goblin at 3.5. So do not ever take green goblins, but you can find lines on MLB, especially with fantasy score, where you're getting lines pretty much at the same hit rate, all right? And this is what we're doing here, right? So that is why we're taking fantasy score, because this line is pretty much a green goblin because it has the same hit rate as a green goblin, okay? Beautiful play here. Hopefully that makes sense. You can go back and watch it. Go back, a minute and just rewatch that. If that doesn't make sense, you guys can also text me, right? So that's that play. Second play, this one's a little bit interesting. It's a little bit risky, guys. I'll be honest. Algeria versus Switzerland. This has been one of the games that I probably have the least confidence in because Switzerland has been doing very well, and Switzerland has also been kind of a dark horse for me a little bit in this tournament. They are a very possession-based team, but with that being said, Algeria has also been a very possession-based team, and they have held their own against a team like Argentina with possession. They actually lost like 3-0, but they held their own in possession. I think they actually had more possession than Argentina when they did. The main reason why I like this line here, guys, is because I actually think this game has a high likelihood in going to overtime, okay? First of all, I do just want to say we are betting on this guy right here. I'm gonna red box them, and then this guy right here. So first and foremost, they are playing right next to each other, and players that play right next to each other are likely to either get a lot of passes if you have a lot of possession or not as many passes if you have a low amount of possession, right? What we want to happen is we want this guy to get the ball, and he's going to pass over here, and then this guy to get the ball, and he's going to pass over here, and then this guy to get the ball, he's going to pass back, right? These guys are just going to constantly be passing to each other, right? It makes sense. That's how soccer is. If you guys have watched any soccer game ever, there's like 99% of the game is just passing, right? So if these guys have a lot of possession, these guys should go over together. But I do think this game has a high likelihood of going into overtime, which is going to help the overs. And these guys should not get subbed out like Kevin De Bruyne did because they're defenders. Now, the reason why I think this game could go to overtime is because both of these teams are defensive possession-based teams, and they don't have that many shots, and they don't really overextend themselves. A lot of these teams' strengths lie in their defense and their midfield, not necessarily their shooting and their attacking and stuff. Some teams like Brazil, their strengths are in their attacking. Okay, Norway, their strengths are in their attacking. Both of these teams, they play defensive, they play passive, and they play build-up play where they play a lot of passing, okay? All I think Algeria needs is 45% plus possession in this game. If the game goes into overtime, then that's going to be a cherry on top where these guys will go ahead and be able to go over in overtime if that does happen, okay? Additionally, what ends up happening in these knockout stages, Switzerland, I'll be honest, is the better team, right? If you look at the odds, they're the better team. They're favored to win. If Switzerland gets 1 goal in this game, what I think is going to happen, what you see a lot of these teams do, is Switzerland then goes into super, super hyper defensive mode. It's called parking the bus. And what that means is they bring all of their players. Like if you guys imagine this is Switzerland, which these are the Algeria players, but what they end up doing is they bring all of their players to like right here. And they all play within this box right here, and they park the bus. And what this does is it gives the opponent a ton of space to pass and pass and pass and pass and pass and pass, right? But it doesn't matter to the team that's parking the bus because they're winning, and all they want is the other team not to score a goal. It's pretty much like in the UFC, if you guys have ever watched the UFC, when someone knows they're winning and all they're doing is they're just holding on for dear life to not get knocked out, and they just know, and they just like, they just sit on the ground and they hold the other guy and they hug the other guy, or like in boxing, you know, when the guy keeps hugging the other guy. It's kind of not an amazing, you know, it's not like a fun strategy to watch, but it is what happens in soccer when a team is ahead. They'll just go ahead and park the bus, and they'll be able to give the other team a ton of possession, and they'll concede that possession for the fact that they are just playing a ton of guys back in defense to not go ahead and let up a goal. All right, so that's a big thing that happens in soccer, especially in these big knockout stages. All right, so a lot of info in today's video. Hopefully you guys like that. If you guys like and comment on today's video, I would greatly appreciate it. If you're in the VIP, guys, if you can leave a comment down below on how much you cashed or whatever. I forgot to screenshot this, but someone commented yesterday that they made $2,000 over the past week with my picks. That is incredible stuff right there. Again, thank you guys for all the love and support. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.